Hi, folks. I wanted to make a brief video today about. I've been watching YouTube videos and then just reading the news, not reading the news and watching things on TV and etc. Not necessarily TV, but YouTube and the like, social media. And a thing of mine as a professional and as a psychologist is how we put emphasis or how we put individuals such as actors and athletes, politicians, etc., on some kind of pedestal. And in actuality, a lot of these folks are really actually just human beings themselves. And I believe what we're doing right now is that we're doing an in-service for not only for children and other generations, but we're also doing an in-service for ourselves. Because, I hear these stories like on Alec Baldwin, Antonio Brown. You hear about all these murders and you see these social shows about killings going on. And the point is, these are all human beings. And the point is, we all make mistakes or we have a lack of judgment or things. I've done lack of judgments. I hear things about other like politicians and things. And there again, it's all about people and their lack of judgment or doing things that maybe not necessarily or morally correct or ethically correct. And the point here, and I've heard people before talk to me about, and I used to do politics and I used to do some things in a community west of Cincinnati. And I was a park commissioner on council and everything. And that is still part of my life. But as a psychologist and also as a professional, I think you have to be non-political in these situations. And the point is, once you cross that line of saying about an individual or making a story about somebody, in the case of point, I saw a video about somebody that was talking about conservatives and attacking Alec Baldwin. I don't think that's right in the sense, because in actuality, you cross that line as a person, as being a journalist. I'm not a journalist myself, I'm a psychologist. And when you put a YouTube video out, in my estimation and in my power, and even as a psychologist, I think you need to be non-biased about things. And the point here, there's actually 2 points here. First off, you're dealing with people that are human beings. And second off, you're supposed to be non-biased about things. Because, when you start talking about certain people, they are human beings and they may not make the best decisions. And it is not, I don't feel myself as judge and jury about individuals who may make a mistake or do a mistake. I think what we need to be is not necessarily critical to these individuals, but be more empathetic to those. And I think part of the issue I see with this is I think people try to get it's because we are a capitalistic society. They capitalize on their audiences. And the point here is not necessarily to capitalize on a bad situation, but to look at it into more of an empathy individual, because in essence, these are people that are human beings. And they're, like I said, and it goes back to them, I've said this 4 times now, 5 times maybe, that people do make mistakes or they do a lack of judgment. And some of these people also have families and they have small kids. So when you impact those decisions like that, for the most part, it not only affects them personally, but it also affects their family. And I think we need to take stock in that as well. Because when we make an accusation against somebody, whether it is a true accusation or a false accusation, it really depends on the court system, because we are a system that is founded upon courts. And it's under that you can have a trial by juries, and to actually commit to somebody saying that they're guilty or non-guilty is really not up to the individual, but that should be founded in the court of law. I have empathy for people like celebrities as well as athletes, because really technically I'm not into their shoes. And I think what we need to do as a society is step back on that. And the second point I make about this is sometimes we put these people on pedestals, or we, see the wealth or the thing about it. And I think our what the word I'm looking for is, we emphasize, because we are a capitalist society, more on the power of wealth and power. And there's a saying, cliche saying, that power corrupts, absolute power corrupts. And so the situation here is not necessarily to judge that person, but have empathy for that person. So as a psychologist, I think we need to look at the situation more in the light of the individual, and let the court system do the work that it needs to do, and not necessarily run off to, you've got organizations like TMZ, for example, that will sensationalize the story. You've got social media like TMZ, but then you've got like newsworks like CNN, Fox News, and etc. And then as a person, you need to take stock into that and say, well, how much of this is true, what's not true. And that's one reason that I don't watch too much television anymore. And I've been even trying to cut back on the videos as well, because really a lot of the videos are slanted to that person, and not necessarily, it may not be necessarily the right choice to make. Well, anyway, folks, these are just some food for thoughts, and I wish you all a happy week. And just keep in mind that, this empowers you to make your own decisions, and rather count on some other individuals to make your decisions. Anyway, have a great day, and talk to you soon. Bye.